All right, so this is a short little video to talk about the mounts for an engine. Um, I was going to start by showing a ship layout. So this here is a swan's body. And so the top deck here, we have in a cutout view. So you can see like in this gray area, this is the whole deck. And then we have this interior. So, the shape of the model is somewhat limiting. This is supposed to be This is supposed to be about 5 meters in width. And if we look here, it's maybe, maybe that, like if you from the tip to tip. But in terms of actual floor space, we don't get that. We lose a lot of it in the curvature and the shape of the ship. And so um, it's difficult to make a mount that would suit this. So to attach something like these different engine models. So what we're going to do is actually not use this. And we're going to recreate a simple flat structure for that five by five room, or whatever size it's going to be. And so it actually ended up being bigger, like the actual interior models that we're attaching the mounts to. So with that said, like talking about the mounts, we have this like wonderful design here. And so this is going to be a really good centerpiece. If we check some of these other ones here, there's like kind of a base or place for things to connect to. And so they'll all have a sort of, doesn't necessarily need to be a flat bottom. This one's a little bit harder to tell. It's so much bigger. So I will show in Houdini itself here. I can kind of walk through these real quick. So we have the steam engine here. This is the first one I made. It's probably going to take a second to load these, so I might start pausing. Okay, so steam engine here, and what we've got is this like little just circular mount here that would attach to this, and this one I did actually try to connect to the floor of this cutout, and so there was all this work that went into it. And let me see, is it going to actually run the sim? Yep. All right, there we go. So it runs a sim, and what you get is you can kind of see the problem here. Like we don't want the geo to clip through, and so I have to like dynamically alter this geo to not clip, but then we lose a lot of detail, and the ceiling is too short, and so we can't really fit any cool designs in here. Or we can shrink the engine down to be something tiny, but then it's no longer proportionate to the ship, and so ultimately this view is just not going to work out. Um, so that's what now what we're doing is ignoring this, and we're making it flat. So we have this, completely flat mount, assuming the floor is there. So in the case of like every single one of these engines here, click on the next one. And this next one here is the solar engine. And so I think this one's actually, one of these is facing the wrong way. Oh no, it's not. Okay. So this one has different mounts. It's these like teeny little tiny legs, which would never support this actually if that was, trying to bear up real weight. And next up we have the fossil engine. Similar deal, like, it's got this flat mountain zone, and you can just see it's like, even more different from the two before it. Then there's this magnetic engine. This one I went a little bit crazy with, and I'm going to upload another video for how I made this. But it also, I decided to use kind of like hands or claws for the grip at the bottom, and so this one's got an interesting mount. Next up is one of Leo's models, and so this is a more of a diesel punk design, and so it's got a kind of industrial feel to it. Like you might see this today again with our current technology. And then this one too. This one's a very simple, just flat base. Like it just connects to the floor. We could almost even take away that base and just use these little side guys here. And I debated on doing that, but decided to leave it in for the time being. And the wind engine here, this one is I kind of modeled it off of a fan, like those big giant ones we see in the field. And so doing just one didn't fit the overall shape, which I'll talk about now. So like the template shape is roughly this. So this is that 1 by 3 meters roughly, which I know we're talking about 3D, and you'll notice I'm only mentioning two dimensions. So it's, roughly 1 meter wide and then 3 meters long. And so this isn't a hard and fast thing. It could be like, 1 meter wide, 2 meters long, or it could even be 1 by 1. Um, and so it doesn't have to strictly be like this, but it's a lot easier for whenever we go to place things into the environment. And so I don't go beyond this because I want the creators to be able to try and produce their own different mounts and all kinds of constructs. And it doesn't even need to be a cylinder. It could be another shape entirely, like we see with some things here. There's completely different shapes that are going on there. It's just kind of a general guideline. So let's see this last one here. So here's a good example of one that just like blows past this, like, and it's actually fine. So in the case of this heart one here, um, what we'll want to do is find a way to create a mount for it, like some kind of base or something that connects it to the ship. And so you can kind of come up with some mechanism that does that. And then that's pretty much it. Like if there's anything else that you think of to enhance it, like in terms of animation and stuff, then that would be a bonus. Like, so that's the only thing with all of these models. It's like there has to be a way to connect it to the ship so that it'll fit in. I'm trying to find a bunch of images here so that it'll fit in. So like this one's early in progress and it'll have the same problem. Like it's gonna need a mounting mechanism. And so it currently doesn't. It's in work in progress. Um, and yeah, the rest of these, I think that's it for this. So I'll cut this video now.